All right, we good. Welcome to another episode of Pels in the Blender. I got the people's champ, you heard me? Motherfucking Chedda Chaz joining the show here.
What's poppin'?
Welcome, brother. Welcome. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, brother. How you doing?
I'm cool, bro. I'm cool. First off, appreciate you for joining the show, bro. Like, I just want to keep it a stack. Y'all been on the Pro Pels and I follow that show heavy. Salute to all them dudes, but I'm a legit fan of every one of y'all, bro. And like, you know, what y'all do and how y'all keep it a stack, y'all keep it G. But to me, you personally is like, I look at it as like all y'all are the voice of the people, but you legit like coming up with like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get you saying.
The voice of the man, you heard me? How do you feel holding that mantle? You heard me? Like, is that a weight at all?
Well, you know, first, bro, I want to say it's an honor to be here, man. Thank you for having me, brother. You're always supporting the show, man. And I told you before we started, I'm just so happy to see people that I see the name, I'm putting the face of the name, and now we all in the content space. Like, we putting out our opinions because I'm just like you just I'm a just normal dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, just as much as I know, and you know, vice versa, as far as what we want to see with the team, and we all want the team to be successful. But to answer your question, nah, you know, one thing I say, bro, when you get into this space, I got some good advice from Get Like Coop. You know what I'm saying? Get Like Coop. He from the city, and he got a real popping YouTube channel as well. Be sure y'all check him out. But he just, you know, initially, you gotta. He told me you gotta be comfortable standing your ground with your takes or your positions. And for me, that's something you got to get used to. You got to have thick skin. I don't always have the most popular opinions. You know what I'm saying? I think I got a pretty good batting average. But the thing is, bro, when you want to step out on that limb and have a apolitical, because I don't do the politics shit. Like, I'm just not. I just don't play the politics. And there's a lot of politics, even on a local level.
In media. People got to play their role.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of politics. But you know what I'm saying? I don't play them games. You know what I'm saying? If it's the truth, you play good, I'm gonna talk good about you. You play bad, I'm gonna keep it cool stack. You know how it go. I mean, you watch the show, so you already know.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's the way that it's gotta be, because if you can't have accountability from, how you gonna not be able to hold the players accountable, but then we gonna be sitting there talking about the franchise being accountable? Like,
right.
If you gonna just be, you know, kind of pushing it to the side, then they ain't gonna listen to you when you demand something. So I appreciate y'all, you hear me, always keeping a buck and rolling with that. So one thing another thing you known for, you know, obviously you known for the trades and the takes, and I look at it like, bruh, you done been, you mentioned the batting average, you done been right like ahead of schedule a lot of times. So like that's another thing that I really kind of wanna hit at, because bro, we in a situation right now with this season being like, it's a do or die year for everybody. And they got a lot of money. Like, they've been doing some deals, you know, locking some people up long terms like that. But are we in a position where we long term, excuse my language, we long term fucked? Or like, is there a plan? Is there like opportunity to get out of this if we need to necessarily?
That's a really good question, bro. And it's like, to your earlier point, one thing I learned for sure is like, when you too early with your opinion, you look like the crazy dude. You look like the one telling the people the aliens coming. But it's like, when they hear
dude on the corner,
when the motherfuckers arrive, then like everybody coming to you for help. Like, what do we do? But I think with the Pelican situation, long term, they still have a lot of room and flexibility, because even look at the worst case scenario. Let's say this season they just fizzle out. Let's say 11 seed, right? 11 seed. The Pelicans, the best thing about the Pelicans is it's just one draft. They still have all of their own future draft capital. They have a lot of tradable salary. Now, some of their assets have become negative assets. But you still got a Zion Williamson who you can just, worst case scenario, you could just waive if you needed to. Trey Murphy's probably on one of the best contracts in the league now. He's probably the most valuable Pelican asset you have. And again, still got your 27 pick swap with the Bucks. Still got your own picks in 28, 29, 30. I think a lot was made, and you got a young blue chip prospect and a Jeremiah Fierce. You got a young blue chip prospect and a Derek Queen. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot was made of the trade because I think people are looking at the team. You know, people have a weird way of looking at things, right? Is sometimes if there's not enough nuance. On one end, you can't say, like when the Herb Jones extension came, right? People are like, this is a great extension. That's because you're thinking of Herb Jones right now. You're thinking of Herb Jones at 26, about to be 27, making $14, $15 million a year. You ain't thinking about when that contract kicks in and Herb Jones is 30 years old, making $20 million to $21 million in a league that doesn't play role players like that anymore. So with the Pelicans, I think a lot of people are saying, yo, you thinking about how bad the Pelicans were last year, and you're saying, damn, we gave up a bona fide lottery pick potentially, but you're not considering, yo, these motherfuckers might be all right this year. If they're healthy, they could be good. And if the Bucks didn't improve their roster drastically. So the Bucks could also be good. Now, if you want to make an argument about the Indiana pick, that's one thing, because I immediately was upset about that. So I totally
mad about that one out the gate.
Yeah. So I totally get the frustration surrounding that, but I think people are putting too many eggs into the Pelicans are going to be bad, and Giannis is leaving this season basket. It's just they're leaning too heavily into that direction, in my opinion.
So that's a great point. First off, the point about it all ties into like the Herb Jones, like when the contract kicks in, let's say he got 2 years left at the 14, 15, something like that. And then it jumps to the 20. So my question regarding Herb necessarily is we see right now, and I'm not saying these players are better than Herb, but you talking about this league don't play role players, bro. You see Kuminga can't get a deal. You see
Josh Giddey
can't get a deal. Kobe White, I don't know what's gonna happen with Kobe White. Cam Thomas, we don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm not saying these players are better players than Herb Jones necessarily, but if that's what the climate looking like right now, like I get securing Herb Jones, but I have no clue what it's gonna look like in, let's say, going into next season. Let's say the Pels play really well, right? And you got Jordan Poole on a 1-year deal. If he played well, you extended Jordan Poole, like Jordan supposed to make like $34 million next year. Like people ain't taking no discounts.
Right.
As of right now, like Zion, if Zion do what they say he gonna do, Zion gonna be 2 years on the deal. You extended Zion,
right?
You know what I mean? And that, so I understand the idea of right now is kind of make or break, and they do have some flexibility because they got people locked up. But at the same time, are we in a position to where the money, when the time comes, because what the new NBA climate looks like, like are we kind of gonna be stuck still? Like, is the money turning into bad money? How you say it?
Man, I think, see, it's a delicate situation because you do have a players like Jordan Poole, right? Who, if I want to give the Pelicans some, not to borrow a Willie Green slogan, if I want to give them some credit, I'll say this, right? The thing that the Pelicans have needed continuously, and you kind of saw some of the benefits of having it this offseason, is tradable salary, right?
Yeah.
So you need salary in the Pelicans case. You need Jordan Poole's contract. You even need Herb's contract, right? Now, would I prefer Herb on a $14 million expiring versus, $20 million? You can make an argument in either direction, right? One can make an argument in either direction, but you do need tradable salary for blue chip players, like real deal playable players. For all, people, some people aren't a fan of Jordan Poole, but he's a playable player. He's a real player. Herb Jones, he's a real player. You know what I'm saying? So you do need that. Also, the Pelicans have some money falling off the books. Got a guy like Jose Alvarado. Now, he's going to be making 4.7 this year, and he has a player option next year. Now, one could say Jose Yeah, you might want to get, maybe you can get a longer contract. Maybe you get a 2-year deal. Maybe you get a 3-year deal. You know what I'm saying? For maybe 8 million, maybe 9 million, whatever, right? But I don't know if Jose opting out or no 4.7 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing.
Yeah.
So, 4.5. He's at 4.5. Jordan Hawkins is essentially a 4.7 expiring. So you got that money kind of coming off the books. Carlos' contract is, dropping the bucket. DeJounte Murray next year is going to be 1 year deal, 1 year shorter on his deal. You already know about the Zion thing, for us, the detail of his contract. Kevon Looney's going to be expiring at $8 million because he got a team option next year. You know what I'm saying? You're approaching option qualifying off a territory for Yves Missi pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? That's how fast the league turn around. Sadiq Bey making what, like $6 million? You got him on a major underpaid, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So they got, it's not a dire situation.
Okay.
In my opinion, because they don't have any long-term bad contracts. You know what I'm saying? DeJounte ain't on the books for 5 years. If DeJounte was on the books, if he has 3 years. If he had 2 years and this was one of them years, totally different outlook. You know what I'm saying? Totally different outlook.
So you've always been real big on the Pelicans being flexible with the tradable salary and stuff like that. And later on in the show, we'll get into, because I kind of want to have you reconstruct this roster if you could, however. So that's kind of like the game I want to play a little bit later. For sure. But you was talking about having tradable salary, and the problem that the Pelicans have been having in recent years is exactly what you said. You have 3, like Brandon was making 30 something, Z making 30, CJ making 30, but then your next, you couldn't move those players at the time, but then your next, highest paid player might have been 2 million or something. You know what I mean? Something crazy. Like it was a steep drop off. So you couldn't really make moves to make the team better in this case. Right. So I look at players now, because we've been real big on, and y'all been real big, not just y'all, but everybody has been really harping on DeJounte has to be moved. I'm not so sure that, man, I was listening to, and not to kind of like jump off track.
Go ahead.
I was listening to Zion, bro. I'm a real fan. I'll be listening to Zion post-game interviews, Willie Green, I'm listening to these dudes interviews like pre-game.
Right.
I don't think Murray getting traded, bro. They talk about this dude, the leadership, he a real one, like all of that kind of stuff. And then when Joe Dumars did the interview, he mentioned DeJounte as part of the core. Now, I don't know if that's just to like salvage the value, but I'm before we go into, because I'm thinking about DeJounte money as the tradable piece. Right. But then I'm starting to look at it and I'm like, bro, they talking about this dude like, man, he the leader we've been needing. Like, how do you decipher between the two of those?
Optics, all optics, and controlling the narrative. Look, man, I was a fan of DeJounte for years. I'm a fan of his game now, but sometimes it's what people don't say versus what they do say, right? Like, Joe Dumars had an interview that was done in print recently, and he just raved about Jeremiah Fairs. Now, Jeremiah Fairs had a really good summer league, in my opinion. So he just raved about him, as he said, when I got here, we didn't have a lead guard, and now we view Jeremiah Fairs as the future at lead guard. That's DeJounte Murray's role. So, like all these things, that they can rave about his leadership, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because he is a cool guy. But to me, the issue was never, I'm gonna give you some exclusives. I'm gonna give you some exclusives, big dog. Since I rock with you, I'm gonna give you some exclusives.
Let's go.
Throughout the season, we had been hearing that DeJounte Murray came back a little early, right? And possibly that David Griffin kind of was urging him, come on back. You know what I'm saying?
This is after the broken hand.
Yeah, it's after the broken hand. Now, some people say there's a little bit of confusion as to when that injury actually occurred. I'm gonna say that there's a little confusion as to when that hand injury actually occurred, right? So as he's coming back, DeJounte Murray was another person who had some issues with him. You know, this is just, you know, word around that old regime. Who I don't know who lying. Has about him.
There's a lot of lying going around.
Yeah,
in that
it's you know, who knows? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
He has some issues around making himself available for like some of the same things Zion did for his treatment, you know, pre-game stretching, things like that, right? Just doing the work before you get onto the court. Also, man, I know for a fact a lot of people were blindsided by the things DeJounte said in the Pivot interview, because a lot of those things weren't true.
Okay.
Like I
know
they're not true.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of those people still in the building. You know what I'm saying? So you gave your perspective on some people that's still in the building. They got a bunch of evidence to the contrary, right? And we all supposed to coexist now. You know what I'm saying? It just look weird. I think for Joe Dumars, you know, with stuff like that happens as it pertains to DeJounte, or just with any player like David Griffin and Brandon Ingram, just anything. I'm like, what he's supposed to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait to get rid of this guy. Like, he's not gonna say that.
Yeah.
And they understand the shortcomings with the roster and the money and things of that nature. And I think you starting to see in this league, they had some deals that you were like, man, they ain't gonna be able to move that deal. And they did it.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of starting to see now the return might be minimal. But I
sometimes
think,
getting rid of the play, like how we felt with Brandon, some addition by subtraction sometimes.
And also, last point on DeJounte, because man, I rock with DeJounte. DeJounte said on that, this part flew over a lot of people's head. DeJounte said in that Pivot interview, I was talking to my agent, like, I'm trying to get out of here.
So and if his agent was
Rich Paul,
a regular person,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
That wouldn't really mean something. But when you tell Rich Paul, hey, something gotta shake, like something gotta move.
Right.
Like that don't mean we firing Griff, because DeJounte and Griff, I'm not DeJounte, I'm sorry. Rich Paul and Griff, if you think about it, they got a real decent relationship.
A rapport. Yeah.
Yeah, like he take a whole bunch of Clutch clients and I feel like be doing Rich Paul and Clutch solids. So as you was talking, I'm thinking, so now like the conspiracy has started to roll a little bit. We could like kind of dive into that. Joe Dumars said, you know, when I got here, I want to talk to everybody in the building. Right? I want to talk to everybody in the building, like from top to bottom. So I'm sure he probably talked to people before DeJounte, you know what I mean, made those comments, and then after DeJounte made those comments, and then also probably spoke to DeJounte. Joe Dumars strike me as the kind of guy, and he a vet in the game, bro, but that's like a cool brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, Joe Dumars is class act, man.
Yeah.
Class act. Yeah.
Classy, but you know, like he ain't gonna throw DeJounte under the bus, but I think he probably telling the people that y'all mentioning in the building, like, hey, don't trip. Like, we gonna take care of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, continue doing y'all job, continue doing y'all part. Y'all saying it ain't true. We gonna make sure we take care of this.
Because I was, and you know, and when we do the show, it's a panel. So sometimes some things can get lost in translation because there's so many voices. But consider this, right? In that post-draft interview with Joe Dumars, because this part stood out to me as well. When he was asked about the relationship with DeJounte Murray, he was like, oh, when I saw that, you know, it caught me off guard, so I spoke to him, da-da-da. Mind you, Joe Dumars and David Griffin were hired and fired on the same day.
Absolutely.
So Joe Dumars had been in position several weeks, maybe a couple months prior to DeJounte making those comments. So he had ample time to speak with DeJounte prior to that. So that means if you DeJounte, you talked to him and you still went out and made those comments. So you ain't, and that's a lot of stuff he volunteered. You ain't have to say none of that. I think it was a power play. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to DeJounte. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him, but I'm also considering DeJounte Murray on the pivot. Like, what sense does that make? Like,
that's like a Rich Paul move.
Exactly.
That's the Rich Paul move. Yeah. Put it out there early enough, because I'm looking also at the DeJounte, and I don't want to like talk too much about DeJounte, but it's like I got you, bro, and I just kind of want, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But DeJounte been putting out these workout videos, and I know he tore his Achilles, you know, much earlier than like people like Tatum and stuff like that. But he putting out the workout videos right now, got people thinking like, shit, DeJounte might be back a lot sooner than, because the injury timeline sounds like January. You know what I mean? Something like that. But he putting out these videos, running and shooting and looking like he dunking and stuff like that. You might have DeJounte in cahoots with Dumars and Clutch, being like, let's put this up and let's see if we could get this value up a little bit, because I don't think Dumars is like, bro, we're not trading the first round pick to move you. You know what I mean? So that part is dead, which I think really put a hold up on what the Pelicans wanted to do this offseason, and also made them even more so go into like all in on like Derek Queen and stuff like that. I think all of it is connected to a degree. But I'm sitting there like reading it, kind of how you saying, like the stuff that's lost in translation. Like, why would DeJounte be that? You know, like if you secure and you coming back, like why are you gonna rush to do these things?
I'm sorry about that. My dog was tripping. But yeah, I mean, DeJounte, by all accounts, is a hard worker, right? You know what I'm saying? But DeJounte, what was that? We got dog Chris in the building. Shout out to Chris and AC Stample in the building. What's that? Y'all be sure to check out Chris Connor, man. Lido 5, everybody over at Pro Pels talk, man.
Man, I got Lido. Me and Lido.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Later, you heard me?
I'm looking forward to that, my dog. Well, you know, man, DeJounte, by all accounts, has always been a hard worker. But DeJounte is a squeaky wheel, right?
Ooh.
DeJounte, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean this as an insult. DeJounte always feel mistreated. DeJounte always feel shortchanged.
He's very disrespected.
Yeah, he's always feeling disrespected. So even in the best case scenario, let's say that I'm hopeful that DeJounte returns in, I'm gonna say January. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't a typical injury, and taking into account he's gonna be playing limited minutes, taking into account the Pelicans need to be winning around this time. So it's like, do you throw DeJounte out there and maybe disrupt what's happening, if anything good is happening? Like, and where do you play him? Do you play, because he ain't gonna be, what he gonna be running the one? Probably, maybe not. Probably gonna be playing a little more off ball. So when I saw him the other day, I saw him catching the shoot. That's not something
he should be working on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's something that like he kind of had a problem with in Atlanta. He like, nah, I'm a point guard. Now I'm not just a point guard. I'm a starting point guard, right? And I'm not just a starting point guard. I'm starting point guard making $30 million, but about 2 years left of my contract. I need to make more money. So
absolutely,
you need to send me somewhere where I can play and start and make more money. So you know what I'm saying? I just think, man, so much of this is theater, man, and politics. Man, you know, like one thing about a person who, I don't want to call him emotional, he's speaking passionately. Yeah. But I also think, you know, it was calculated. You know, this the worst year ever, like you ever had, and
this the most unprofessional position I've been in. Yeah,
you ain't that's a lot of you knew since Hurricane Katrina, you ain't want to come to New Orleans, and the trade was never supposed to happen. I'm just like, dog. Yeah, I like you, so I'm gonna stall you out, but you lying a lot, dog. Like
I can't get what I need. That's a big statement. That I can't get what I need. Come on, dog.
Can't get what you need. Like, come on, man. Like that shit is scheduled. Like, and these dudes, bro. So many people that I ain't even necessarily that cool with, reached out. Is like, nah, I'm lying, bro. I'm like, yeah, I know.
So I'm gonna say this, and then we could kind of move on from that. But still sticking to DeJounte from a salary perspective, but. Man, those dudes that I imagine worked for NBA franchises work their whole lives to get those kinds of jobs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to you middle school, high school, college, you dream of being in the NBA, being able to train and you know, physical therapy and stuff like that. You think somebody gonna call you a former all-star, like one of the key players on the team, gonna call you, to like, and you know this business is all about relationships, and be like, hey man, I need to get some gym time. Nah, dog, I'm cool. Oh, I'm gonna leave you on red. Like it just, those things didn't add up to me when I think about it from a very, you know what I mean? Like you could call your partner to do that. Yeah, like it's not logical. Like it don't make no sense. Like not only are they getting paid to do it, but most people will probably do that job for free just because of who it is. You know what I mean?
No, you got unlimited access to resources. Those people are available. Like somebody hit me up, they was like, dog, no, they don't care if it's raining, it's 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Them dudes, you call them, they showing up. Like, absolutely. So I don't know, bro. Best case scenario, DeJounte just confused. He had a lot going on. He was confused.
Yeah,
but that's me giving him a lot of, you know.
Shout out to DeJounte, because
shout out to him. I hope everything going well with him. I'm a fan, so
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really a fan. I'm not saying he a bad player, but I'm like, man, we need Trae Young. I was like,
I feel you, bro. I definitely feel you. Yeah.
And I know people were saying Trae wasn't available, but I don't know if Trae wasn't available or the reason Trae wasn't available because David Griffin was putting out that we don't want to play like Trae Young, bro. That's the one thing also about Dumars. Like if Trae Young was available at that time, Dumars was here. Yeah, like I'm making, you want to come. And Trae was even saying, man, I would love to go to New Orleans. You would love to do what? Let's make this happen. Man. You know what I mean? Let's make this happen.
So many politics involved, bro. I just hope it's a new day as it pertains to that, man. I really do.
So let's matter of fact, let's transition into that. So I kind of look at the new day as you've already seen Joe Dumars start to turn over this roster a lot. And I think he's still turning it over. I think you have players like, I look at Hawkins, Jose. I look at them almost as just as right now they might be potential depth pieces, but I look at them as $10 million. I look at it as a $10 million trade piece. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if you go and get a player that's 10 million or, you know what I mean? Something like that. That's literally all I see that as. Do you see them as, before I go a little further than that, do you see them as anything more to Joe Dumars? Because he don't have no attachments to none of these people. Do you think he see them as actual contributors, or like, nah, that's a chip to be moved at some point?
I think the only advantage that Jordan Hawkins has at all is that he's from the DMV. Aside from that, I think Jordan Hawkins, the minute, I already felt like this, but the minute the new CBA kicked in and Jeremiah Fears was drafted, Jose and Jordan Hawkins became two overpaid players. Okay. Because they both making more than the vet minimum. And with Jordan Hawkins specifically, nobody not paying. Jordan Hawkins next year, his deal is going to be for $7 million. Nobody's paying Jordan Hawkins $7 million right now.
Not on this production.
Yeah, in free agency, he wouldn't get 4.7. He wouldn't get what he's making now. So take that into account. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Do you think, so if you go back to Jordan Hawkins' rookie year, he's in the Rising Star. Was it the Rising Stars game? You got Jalen Rose saying stuff like, man, you're gonna be all right in this league, right? And then Jordan looked good throughout that time. And then people may remember, I'm for real. Right, and then people remember that first month, the first couple months of the season, Jordan was talked about as he was on pace to break the 3-point record for a rookie and stuff like that. And Jordan early on did have some promise, still a lottery pick. Do you think other teams around the league, because they always look at Pelicans assets as, hey man, y'all don't know what y'all doing, give me that asset and let me see what we can do with it. Do you think there's any of that around the league for Jordan Hawkins?
I think when you look at role players like Jordan Hawkins, right? even dating back, because these people around the league, they have way more data than us, right? When you look at role players like a Jordan Hawkins, even dating back to college, Jordan Hawkins never was a promising shooter, right? Never, like percentage wise, never was a efficient shooter necessarily.
Yeah,
I think players like Jordan Hawkins tend to figure it out. People who top out as role players, I think they tend to figure it out on their second and third contracts. Like, shout out to Malik Beasley, who I think is probably like a somewhat comparable guy to Jordan Hawkins. Malik Beasley didn't start getting money until he made it to Detroit. Like, he didn't figure it out, and that's about 4 teams later. You know what I'm saying? Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he got traded to what? Portland, traded to the Jazz. Then then he went to the Wolves. Jordan Hawk, and people say, "Oh, no, figured it out." Man, don't look at Noah's stat line. No, I guess
my dog. That's one of my favorite players. My dog, he a legit role player.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why if you look at even with Jordan Hawkins, right? I saw some photos with him come out. It's like, bro, the thing you needed to focus on this offseason is putting on weight. You need to gain muscle and put on weight. You're too frail.
So people start bullying you when you handling the rock.
So the fact that you didn't do that tells me that you're years away. Okay. Like even with Eve Messi put on some weight. You know what I'm saying? Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as his career continued, he put on weight. Trey Murphy put on weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things, the small things that you can do to add a bit of an incline to your trajectory. Shout out to Michael Moore, man. How you doing, brother? To add a bit of an incline to your trajectory. And I feel like the small things aren't being done with some of these guys. And I don't know if it's being made a point of emphasis in the offseason. Because look at Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes looked like he just got into the league, bro.
That's a very good point.
He looked exactly the same, dog. Kyra Lewis, he's hopping around. I think he was the Hawks. Was it the Raptors? I thought it was
he was with the Heat Summer League.
Yeah, he was the Heat Summer League team. Look exactly the same, dog.
Yeah,
like it's the small things, bro. That sometimes they don't click until later in some of these guys' career, man.
So I don't know if we've like kind of prepped for this and stuff like that, but so I kind of want to look at almost complete roster turnover if you want to look at it that way. So my big ticket item, I guess I look at it this way. I think the most attainable big ticket item, and I'm gonna keep saying this, brother, I think goes to what it is that Joe Dumars is trying to accomplish is I think you have DeJounte Murray, Hawkins, Jose, and Messi if you got to do it. And people don't like that idea. You trade them to Sacramento for Domantas Sabonis. So hold on, let me get. So the reason I say Sabonis is because Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, exactly the relationship aspect of it. If Sabonis is asking out because we don't know what it is that they're going to end up doing because they were supposed to have a conversation with him in the season. After they moved on from Fox, we're going to sit down with him and see what's going on. Let's say behind closed doors, Domantas Sabonis asked out, and that's gotten wind to, you know what I mean? Joe Dumars got wind of that. What do you think of Domantas Sabonis and that particular trade being pulled off?
I think personally, I would like it, right? And I also think if they were to keep this roster spot open and keep that additional $4 million open, I think you might could get there because Domantas is at what 42 million? 42. So I think you could get there without giving up Eve, right? I'm saying if you
didn't have to.
Yeah, if you didn't have to, you could probably get there giving up Carlo instead of Eve, right? But I think that's one of those deals that if the Pelicans are winning at the deadline, I think that's something.
The move.
And the Kings looking like
we expect the Kings to look.
The Kings looking like how the Kings be looking sometimes. I think that's a very, very interesting deal. That's a call you got to make, in my opinion. Because if the Pelicans are winning and they like, yo, shit, Zion playing, this Trey playing, Herb playing, you know what I'm saying? We round out the roster at the 5, or even if you want to say, what's a bonus? We're going to put you at the 4. Because one thing people keep missing, and I know you get it, right?
Yes.
Joe Dumas said he wants to play a 2 big lineup.
Yes.
Troy Weaver is a big fan of front court players like bigs. He's centers, power forwards.
He stacks fives. Historically, he stacks fives. Look at Detroit.
Look at Detroit. Yes. Exactly, right? So when I'm surveying the Pelicans, people talking about the center, I'm like, who gonna play the 4? That's why I wanted a guy like John Collins. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at Sabonis, that's, to me, and if you look at the Kings, you know, one thing I like to do, bro, I like to watch a lot of different teams and get their perspective, like their analysts, and get their perspective on what's going on, because nobody knows like the people who watch all these games. So talking to them, they don't think they can get a bevy of picks for Sabonis. They don't think Sabonis is worth much of anything with that contract, because people have seen him fail in the big moments. Defensively, he kind of is what he is, you know. But I feel like you put Sabonis next to a Kevon Looney, I'm not so much worried about space for Zion, because Zion, he's been doing it without space this entire time. He don't need space.
And DeJounte can space.
Yeah.
Sabonis can space.
Yeah. He just need people to hit open shots when he passing the ball. He gonna be all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be all right. So I think it's a really good idea. And I think if this team is winning, going into the deadline, going into December, January, February, I think Gail will be willing to pay the tax, especially with Joe Dumas, because they want to make up for the narrative that's put out there. You got Bill Simmons saying he needs to sell the team. You got them getting an F from CBS. You got them getting an F from this national broadcast. Like this, all of this bad optics, all of this bad press, and the reputation of being cheap. And the DeJounte interview don't help, because the DeJounte interview was prior to the draft.
Exactly.
And then you got the trade that happened at the draft. You got the Zion thing with his, you know, he got his case going on. You got all these things happening simultaneously. So it's like, yo, how can we change the narrative? How can we change the image of this organization? If they're winning going into January, they're gonna go for it. They're gonna go for it. And I think if they go for it, Sabonis makes a lot of sense.
So this is how, because a lot of people like, why would Sacramento do that deal? Right? Like why would we take that? Well, first off, you see Sacramento right now still looking for a veteran point guard to play alongside Dennis Schroeder. You know what I mean? Also, you could sell Sacramento, hey, bro, y'all might be almost in a rebuild anyway. If you took, and I'm just saying, let's say hypothetically it took Eves, but let's say you had to move Eves and Hawkins, how you mentioned earlier about the second team, bro, you might be able to salvage, like you might get some of the upside of Eves and some of the upside of Hawkins and selling that off to Sacramento. Like maybe if we throw in another pick, you know what I mean? That it might seem like a lot, but say, bro, I'm with you on that Warriors pool move, Jeezy. So that's my partner, though.
I agree with him. Yo, I say also, to his point, you got Poole, you got Looney. If you're the Pelicans, it's like, yo, you right there on it. You got the talent there, right? And I would say the fit is there for what you consider your core players. It's really about help and strategy from the head coaching position, of course. But I think if you're the Kings, to your point, Kings got to pay Keegan Murray soon. Kings, you know, they want to keep Keon Ellis, I'm guessing, right? You just got Christie. I don't really know Christie and Sabonis' relationship like that. Sabonis at this point, and I think next season he's making like $46 million. Sabonis at this point is starting to become a negative asset.
Right.
With his age, with his position, his play style, it's like, you're an empty calories guy. If you're the Pelicans, you got to look at Sabonis like, yo, maybe we trade him for like Kevin Love, or maybe this is us trading. Yeah, maybe this is us trading for like Jimmy Butler. Like in the regular season, he don't really do nothing. You know, I'm not saying Sabonis don't. Sabonis is a regular season player. Sabonis is a monster in the regular season. So, and he addresses rebounding, one of your biggest needs. He's an advantage creator on the offense. He can give you a change of pace in the offense. But the Pelicans got to do their part and get to the point where, like, their picks are always going to have value. So the Kings going to be like, yeah, let's do it. And the relationship with Scott Perry helps. But the Pelicans got to do their part and be good enough for Gail to say, "All right,
go make that move.
Let's do it.
Go make the move." Yeah,
you know.
If I look at this is the ideal season to me, and then I'm gonna ask you what your big ticket move is. That's mine. It's a bonus. But let's say you, I don't know, 10 games. Somehow you 10 games over 500. Right? If you 10 games over 500, you know, going into the deadline, you cooking. Let's say Z looking, because for me, I got Zion this year, bro. Like I got high expectations. I got minimum 65 games, 28, 8-8. Like I think he's gonna be second team all NBA. Okay. I got Trey making a fringe all-star leap. I don't know if he get all-star because I don't know if the name is enough yet. Like when Zion hoops, it just looks different. You know what I'm saying? Like if Zion,
I think he could be an injury replacement.
Absolutely. Like he kind of how when Andrew Wiggins made it that season, you know what I mean? Like you could see Trey Murphy kind of slotting into something like that this season. But if everything go right, if everything go right, and you get to trade deadline going into All-Star break, and the Kings look like what we think the Kings look, and it's like, hey man, we gotta tear it down. And DeJounte will be back by then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He'll be back by then. If he looks okay at all, I think you in position to be able to go in and make that move. And now you really change the narrative of what the team looks like. Because imagine a starting lineup of, and I'm just hypothetical, not a starting lineup, I'm sorry, just a lineup you can play. Poole, Z, Trey, Sabonis, and Queen. Like, and I know you could throw in Herb and you know from defensively, but I'm just thinking about Queen, like how versatile all of those players are. And from a rebounding aspect, how dominant Queen looked like he getting 10 boards regardless. And Sabonis been, you know what I mean, a top rebounder in the league.
Yeah, he just a monster on the boards.
12, 13 boards a game. All of them pass you, bro. I ain't even worried about the defense. I'm just thinking if you 10 games over 500, you make that kind of move.
That's that lineup.
Bro, the kind of lineups you could play and stuff like that, I think it give you a real shot to appreciate it, Mike B. You heard me?
Mike B. Man. And to your point, I'm agreeing with you, bro. I do think Sabonis is that home run swing at the deadline because I'm considering areas of need. So if you're the Pelicans, you don't want another like super on-ball perimeter player. You're really a little bit crowded along the perimeter when you're healthy. What you really missing is a difference maker in that front court. We know Zion is not a 4. We know it. Like we got to just embrace it at this point.
At best, he's a 3. Yeah.
At best, he's a 3. Right. And again, Troy Weaver, Joe Dumars talk about Ben Wallace. You talk about Andre Drummond. You talk about Greg Monroe. Talk about now. This is not the best one. We talk about Charlie Villanueva. You talk about you talk about
stack bigs, man.
They stack bigs. Isaiah Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Duren. You talk. That's just what they do. That's their that's their area expertise. And again, the relationship is there with Sacramento, and not to mention Joe Dumars worked in Sacramento. He actually, so according to him, recently he turned down the Kings job. So I just think.
Oh my God! Go ahead. No, bro, I just had an amazing thought. It's probably not coming to fruition because we wouldn't be this lucky.
Okay.
we just can't be this lucky.
I think them looking at this and drafting a 4. You just drafted a 4. And shout out to Eve Messi, but Eve Messi he wouldn't stop you from getting Sabonis. To me, Eve Messi is a very good rotational big. You know what I'm saying? Sabonis and Eve Messi don't got nothing to do with one another. You know what I'm saying? So if you starting Sabonis or in Looney, let's say Looney starting at the 5 hypothetically, and you starting Sabonis, man, it's just like come on, like you. I think if you the Pelicans, bro, that's the deadline move that get people to saying, well, shit, I don't know. The Pelicans might do something like I don't know. But what was your thought? I'm curious to hear what your thought was.
So you and this is shout out to you because you've been on this, and a lot of people have been on this too. Vucevic, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people have been bringing up Vucevic, and now the Bulls are at the point where they can't trade him. This might be a buyout situation. Now, obviously, if Vucevic is bought out it's really unlikely that he decides, you know what I mean? You think he kicked the tires on Kessler again, Filipowski? Look, that's a good question, but I ain't gonna lie, Mike. I don't know if I don't know what Ainge gonna do. Yeah. I think Ainge, even from the draft perspective, I think he'd rather keep him and re-sign him than let him walk for anything, in my opinion. Talking about Walker Kessler. But from so Vucevic, let's say he's bought out, and some way you were able to make it happen where you bring in Vucevic, right?
Right.
You would probably Vucevic would probably become your starter, no doubt, right?
Yeah.
But let's say hypothetically you was able to bring in Vooch, he gets bought out, you were able to bring him in for that $4 million spot, or you waive somebody else somehow, free up a little bit more, you give him some money, and he becomes your starter. Do you still consider, and let's say that the Sabonis deal, y'all playing well, and the Sabonis deal is still there, and you go Vooch Sabonis, or do you think that's too much?
I think that's a little too much. But redundant. Consider this though. Consider this though. Vucevic, he's expired, right? And Vucevic, he's a little long in the tooth. He's a quality starting five, and he can stretch the floor for real. And he a rebounding monster. To me, I don't think Vucevic and Sabonis can't play together because what you'll be asking Vucevic to do. Like, homie, I want you taking 7 threes a game. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and one thing, I try to, stress to some people sometimes, whoa, what up, my dog? So one time I try to stress to some people because they might not see your vision, right? But they got to realize too, you're not swapping out 5 players each time. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You're going to have lineups where Sabonis is the best player on the floor, you dumping the ball to Sabonis. You're going to have lineups where Vucevic getting some looks in the paint. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a war of attrition where some people get injured, et cetera, right? And I don't think, and depending on how much money Vucevic gives back, I do think that that's something that you could potentially pull off. Because again, at that point, if you're the Pelicans, realistically, you ain't got Looney here for the long term. You
got the option to get out next season,
right? You got the option to get out. They didn't draft Eve. You know what I'm saying? And you looking at Queen, you like, well, you coming up in the ranks, so you're gonna have to trim some fat somewhere anyway.
Exactly.
Somebody is going anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of who. So I think with Vucevic being on a 1-year deal, let's say you do like a wink deal with Vucevic and the Bulls, and you say, all right, look, that's what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna trade you. Let's just say Eve for conversation's sake, right? I'm gonna trade Eve into your salary cap. Give me a second, right? Just give me a second. Cool, right? When you Vucevic, look, when they cut you, Bulls give Vucevic about $16-17 million, right? That way he only losing about 4 on his deal. I think he made $21 million, if I'm not mistaken.
21.
So if he gonna lose about 4 on his deal, I traded even to your salary cap space and gave you a second. So now I got about $8 million available in free agency. Vuce, for this 1 year, I'm gonna give you $5-6 million to come start for the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? And you look, you gonna just be trying to do something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's an easy way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think because even on the free agent market, Vuce ain't getting no 10 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you look at a bunch like the starters in the league. The Lakers got Ayton. The Suns, they got Nick Richards, Mark Williams. They just drafted Maluwak. You look at who is it?
Would the Hornets need a big, maybe?
Yeah, then it's like if you Vucevic, you like
not going to the Hornets,
bro. I'm not going to the Hornets. Like, they would have to give me $20 million.
Yeah,
I'm not going to Hornets. So I think New Orleans could put forward, and again, can't underestimate their what was that in Ray Butler? You can't underestimate the affinity for centers. Can't underestimate it. They just traded 2 picks to get one.
I think we could move on from this, but like I think and I'm just reading because at the end of the day, these are like people that have identities, you know what I mean? And they have personality, kind of like what you're saying. Like they have track record of showing you the type of stuff that the kind of moves that they make.
Right.
So if you saying every stop that Troy Weaver's made, he stacked fives, right? Also, some of the winning teams, like Joe Dumars in his winning team, that the Detroit team was a depth team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like is you have your stars, don't get me wrong, but you need to be able to play. And when I say depth, people think you got to be 10, 12 deep. I don't believe in that. Like in the regular season, yeah. But like come playoff time, you probably playing 8, 9 people.
Yeah, about
at
8,
best.
9 people. Yeah.
So if your front court looks like, and this is everything got to go perfect, but if your front court looks like Vucevic, Sabonis, Queen, and Looney, like you feel really solid against damn near anybody you could face, especially in the Western Conference, when like who's the big that you really, you know what I mean? You really concerned
who you really
with.
fearing? It's like Anthony Davis, who just had surgery with a cornea. And before we move on, last point, people gonna talk about the defense. It's like, bro, you got to score in this league. If you ain't out, the best defense is a great offense. If you can't score, all that defense don't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Pelicans was ranked, I think, top 6, top 7 in the last playoffs against OKC defensively. Got swept. Didn't score 90 points.
Yeah.
So where'd that get them?
Yeah. So, nowhere. Lost. Home. Talking about Zion getting traded and stuff like that.
Yeah. So come on.
Yeah. So another thing I kind of want to get to you about. So that's my big ticket item, right? Sabonis. What is your if you had one player you could go get, and you got to think, I'm assuming the numbers are around 40-something mil, because the expendable players on the team, and depending on how high the level of player is, it would be different. But Murray, let's just say whoever you go get, they take the deal. Who is your player in that 40 million range that we could get that you think will really like transform the roster or put the Pels in that position where you be like, shit, we got a chance in the West?
I agree with you. I agree. I think it is a bonus. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is a bonus because I think the landscape in the league has changed so much to where like a lot of people overpaid. So because there's some people gonna say if Sabonis not really a superstar, it's like show me 10 right now. Show me 10 that's available. Show me 10 that's available to the Pelicans. Show me 10 that's available to the Pelicans for the things you got right now. That's why I was telling people even about DeAndre Ayton. I was like, people think you just getting a shopping cart and go and get whoever you want. It's like, no, it don't go like that. These dudes got power and influence. Like with agents, they can kind of make things difficult depending on
we ain't going there.
Yeah, we ain't going there. And on top of that, they gotta be distressed assets. If you're the Pelicans and you want to keep all your really good players, you giving up distressed assets. I mean, you giving up like mediocre assets. It gotta be for you taking on a bad contract or a player with some questions, like a Jordan Poole, or like you probably looking at a Murray, Jose and Hawkins for Zion offer right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not looking at like these great deals for these players. So if you're the Pelicans, they'd be fools not to make that call. So I'm in total agreement with you. I think Sabonis is the big ticket item. I think this is the year. If you're looking good, you're going to the tax. You won't even be in the tax that much. You probably could avoid it, honestly, depending on what you do with that last spot on the roster. If they leave that spot open and they still looking good, I think it'd be all right.
And that's another reason, like why I looked at the move. I'm like, bro, that move would put you in a position to be, and this is all assuming obviously that Zion, again, this is my, you know what I mean, my high ceiling move. But like if Zion is performing and Trey is performing and Poole look like what bro, if you add Sabonis to that type of roster, like so he probably should be a 2-time All-Star. People saying he got robbed already. Like, from the last couple seasons. Exactly. You know what I mean? That's a fringe all NBA player, in my opinion. Right. Not saying for sure should get in, but you know what I mean? Borderline fringe all NBA player. If you add that dude to the team, it gives you flexibility to where if let's say Zion gets hurt, Trey gets hurt, something like that, you got somebody that steps in and like, you know, say, bro, I could pick my game up and elevate for a little bit. And I just think those are the kind of moves that like lead to winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, we rolling right now. I feel feeling good about the show. So
sure.
another thing you've been big on is, and this, I got a bunch of the people in the chat right now. There's a lot of people from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? We all tap in. We love Chris Paul. We romanticize the idea of Chris Paul coming back to New Orleans, right? And I understand. But two things. First off, is Chris Paul even the best player to ever play for New Orleans?
It's close. It's a close call, but I think, man, Chris Paul just had more to work with, man. Also, but I'm going to give Chris Paul the edge over Anthony Davis, But I think Anthony Davis is more talented than Chris Paul. Anthony Davis just inherited some whack circumstances, whereas Anthony Davis never had, aside from DeMarcus Cousins, that I don't really count Drew Holiday All-Star, to be honest. But Anthony Davis, not that Sixers All-Star, but Anthony Davis never had a David West. You know what I'm saying? He never had that co-pilot with him up until DeMarcus, and we see how short that run lasted.
That literally was like a season and a half, like a full season, technically. 2 half seasons.
Yeah, so, you know, but Chris Paul Chris Paul is the most accomplished player, the most prestigious player to ever play for New Orleans. If someone wanted to argue about talent, that's when the conversation get a little funny.
Okay. So let me ask this, because obviously Chris just decided to go back to LA and home, specifically home. He crying all, you know what I'm saying? Boo-hooing all in the press conference. You know what I mean? They dancing in the video. Look, you know what I mean? Like, come on to death row. It's kind of like how I looked. If you want to come join, that's basically what they're doing over there. They took Bradley Beal. You got Chris coming back, hardening him to put it aside, pause, to kind of, you know, get whatever they had back. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just thinking about it, bro. Like, with all of the time that Chris had been away, like, we've been booing Chris Paul for a while now, bro. Like, we've been booing Chris Paul for some years. Was there ever any, because he said there was no doubt that, like, I was going back to LA. Like, was there ever really, obviously there wasn't any chance, but like, why do we feel like there was a chance for Chris to come home? Not home here, but like back.
I think, man, it's a collective low self-esteem, though. Like, I just gotta keep it real, bro. Because see, that's why I gotta become the bad guy. And you know, look, man. Look, Chris Paul got drafted in 2004, right? 2004. Yes. Chris Paul spent like about a year and a half in OKC, right? Spent about 3 years after that in New Orleans. Chris Paul only really played in New Orleans about 4 years, right? He's played basketball for like 19 years.
He's been playing for 20 seasons.
No, he got drafted in 05, matter of fact. Did he get drafted in 04, 05?
It's year 20 for him, 05, 04, 05.
All right, so he played he's been playing for like 20 fucking years. Like, the dude don't fuck with him. Like, but see, it's really Chris Paul's fault, because Chris Paul got a cold ass pimp game, a cold Mac game. It's like New Orleans, like the broad he messed with in high school, middle school. Yeah, he think he can get it anytime he want.
Yeah,
he can show up at the house. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he walk up to
he's still where we left it.
He walk up to a hugger and be like, "Oh, what's up, bro? No disrespect. It's a good girl you got here, though," and walk on. Yeah. You're like, what kind of is this? What kind, like, you know? So people be falling for that, bro. They didn't offer Chris Paul buku money to come back. They didn't offer Chris Paul to work. Chris Paul just don't fuck with like, on the real. Chris Paul, he just likes living in nice places. Like, he like living in like high-end
luxurious places. Yeah.
People might say, well, about San Antonio? you don't got a Greg Popovich here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't got a dude like that. And that was like something like, let me get a check real quick type thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Chris Paul, he don't. Chris Paul forced his way to Los Angeles, bro. The Clippers probably had no interest in Chris Paul.
I'll take the backup seat. I'll take, I'll take.
They told like you might not even play, dog. And Chris Paul ain't trash. Chris Paul can still play. They're like, bro. He said, I want to go to LA to be with my family. He ain't even care about possibly coming to New Orleans. And the thing I be trying to tell people too, like I be like, dog. People like Chris Paul, come coach. I'm like, bro. People don't like Chris Paul. People don't fuck with Chris Paul. People dislike Chris Paul. People think Chris Paul is a chunk of politician.
Majority of Chris Paul career, he was, and I like it. Chris, one of my favorite players.
Me too.
Like my favorite point guard, to be honest.
Bro, Chris Paul, my favorite New Orleans player of all time.
Yes. And majority of Chris Paul career, all you talked about is everybody hate. They hate the person he is. He too hard on you, too much expectation. Like, I don't know. They might not hate him. Yeah.
It's just like, and look, bro, if he would have signed back, I'd have been happy. Right? I'd have been like, that's what's up, man. He'd have signed 2 years ago, I'd have been happy. But it gets to a point where you like, wait a minute, dude saying that, but Chris Paul like the politician that come around when it's time to vote. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Chris Paul, when he in New Orleans, he like, oh man,
I can't believe they don't love
it here. Yeah, y'all love me. All the things I did for this place, brother. That was 20 years ago, brother. We done had 2 #1 picks since then.
That's wild.
Like,
he good for those
Chris
shots
Paul,
too.
Wow, bro. Yeah. Like it's over, dog. Like we gotta move on for real. You done changed the name. We didn't have different coaches. We didn't have different owners.
Yeah,
no, we can't have different owners. It's time to
multiple times. Yeah.
It's time to go, Chris.
So so not since we talking about Chris, and obviously I just wanted to establish that like, bro, Chris don't love us like we might love, you know what I mean? That we might love Chris. So like being that like he moved on, they called it home. Like, let's let Chris Paul go. So the reason I even asked is because since Chris been gone, it's been multiple players wearing the number 3.
Yeah.
like is the 3 even your number still? Like, who, if you think of the 3, like, are we just gonna diminish that CJ wore the 3? Like, what if Poole come and kill it in the 3? Like, is the 3 like the LSU 7?
What was it? Bobby Fields passed away, right? For years in New Orleans, nobody wore Bobby Fields' number. And Bobby Fields was a Charlotte Hornet. He was a New Orleans player. But for years, nobody wore that number. So, but it's like for Chris Paul, it's like,
bro, Josh Hart wore the 3.
Josh Hart wore the 3, son. Like 3. Jordan Poole got the 3 now. That's why I got JP3. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
go cop the shirts, man.
Go cop the shirts.
JP3 shirts, the Zero Fizz shirts. You know,
man, they try to steal my Zero Fizz, but you know, I had to get at them about that, and now we straight, you know. But yeah, you know, shout out to Chris Paul, bro. I don't got no animosity toward Chris Paul. I just don't like when game being ran on me, and we doing, cause you don't gotta do that. Just look, bro. I'm gonna say this. None of these players would play here for free.
Absolutely.
Right? And you like, Chris, you love it here. We need you to play for free. Like, no. Right? No. So when people be having like these attachments, I get it. Because we fans, you know, we won't watch the game. But at the same time, this is business for these dudes. Like these brothers ain't really tripping like that. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta respect the game.
So I'm gonna say probably the second we going down the same. Like, this is the thing about New Orleans fans. When if we love you, we love you.
Right.
We and Drew Brees told this to Zion. You know what I'm saying? When he first got drafted here, if you for the city, then the city gonna be for you. And bro, like, people love Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a guy. You know what I mean? Like, just keeping it a G. Like, Drew Brees in New Orleans is God level.
Right.
Anthony Davis, when he left, like CP3, people still romanticize CP3. He was up there.
Yeah.
He was up there. Anthony Davis never really reached that because people didn't feel like that with, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my question, I guess, is is Zion, because Zion the face at this point. Is it too late for Zion to possibly reach that level of New Orleans? You know what I mean? New Orleans lore and stature and whatnot.
The reason why it ain't, because it's all psychological, right? Is because Zion is an underdog now. When Drew Brees joined, Drew Brees was like, who's this dude? like the dude for the Chargers? Drew Brees was like an underdog. Chris Paul was like, man, we got this small point guard, man. What's going on? Raymond Felton right there. Dwight right there. Who is this guy? Who we got? And he just took off. He became that dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think with the Pelicans, when you drafting players number one, you looking at the talent and the expectation versus the deliverables, what they actually came through with. And Zion, when it's been good, it's been great. When it ain't been good, it ain't been good. And it's been not good a lot of the time. Anthony Davis, and they was boring. He was cool, but he was boring. He's the, motherfucker, Anthony Davis is he's just a boring player. It is what it is. Like, and he was playing in a different time. That's why people gravitated to DeMarcus Cousins a lot more. People like DeMarcus Cousins' attitude. Anthony Davis was always hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it felt like he was crying and falling down.
Yeah, it was just always weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think perimeter players have more of an opportunity to ingratiate themselves to teams like New Orleans, because you fighting in a war. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think with Zion now becoming an underdog, that's why they love Herb so much. That's why they love Jose so much. It's the underdog story. Zion, he's now reached the point where if he does good, it's a if Zion plays 70 games this year, people gonna be with burning candles. People gonna be like, "Oh Lord, I can't believe it happened." They're gonna throw a parade. No matter what happened in the season, people are like, "He played." Like, it's gonna be a different, different reaction.
I think, and this is why I think Zion. And again, I'm a Z fan, bro. Like, I think Zion. And you see it, like, first game back against Minnesota, how different the team looked, how different the arena looked, like just the energy around the team when that dude is playing and looks like himself is completely different. Now, granted, he got to stay healthy and stuff like that, right. But I think what Joe is leaning into is that style of play that Fears has, and that style of play that Queen has, and what we expecting from Trey and Herb. If Zion is aggressive and if Zion looks like he finished the season last season, bro, the city is gonna be 1000% behind Zion. Like,
people want to root for a winner.
Yeah, and you not just a winner, you want to root for somebody that's like the thing with Anthony Davis. They had a couple seasons where they looked good, but Anthony Davis wasn't aesthetically, like, his game wasn't aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, bro, Zion going to the rim, dunking on people, like bullying people. I'm catching that, like AD caught Alice, but Zion, they throwing it. You know what I'm saying? All and out AD the
7 feet, so it's like it's a little different.
It's just a little boring or whatever. So I just think that this. Bro, I really think the team is on the cusp of, like, potential like a potential boom this year, to where, and this is the thing, and I'm gonna transition to this, and we could, you know what I'm saying, we could wrap it up. I don't know how much time you got, but we could kind of have you feel. But I think they on the cusp of a potential boom, right? So let's say everything we saying or everything I'm saying, you know what I mean, kind of happening and coming to fruition. You've been supporting Willie Green. I mean? Supporting Willie Green recently.
Right.
Do we think if this team is 10 games over 500 and they are, like, they do make a Vucevic deal and they do make a Sabonis deal or something like that, like, do you think Willie, like, say for Joe kind of like, bro, we 10 games over 500, we should be 15, 20 games over 500? Or you think they ride it out, you know what I mean, in real Pelicans fashion.
Depend on the context, right? Because like, let's say with the 49 win season, right? That's how you know a team trash when you remember like no, they won 49 one time. Like you remember the 49 win season. Realistically, now a lot of things fell the Pelicans' way that season, but realistically, so many things went their way. They should have won like 55 games, 56 games, because so many things fell their way. So if things fall their way like that, and they only 10 games over 500, I think Willie get the boot. But if they getting it out the mud, you know what I'm saying? And they like, yo, we didn't want to do the trenches, boy. We lucky to be these 10 games over 500. Then I don't think it would stop them from replacing Willie in the offseason. Now, here's the thing. By them pretty much punting the draft, more or less, I don't think you can fire Willie Green now, especially not during the season. You would have to fire him in November. Like, you know what I'm saying? You would have to get him out early so you can salvage the season. Now, you're not going to do that. You're going to just try to right the ship. And I'm going to be honest with you. You remember Minister Society? I be telling people all the time, dog. I be like, look, I don't care how people feel about Zion, to be honest. I get it. If Zion ain't playing, right? If Zion don't play, and trade to a much lesser degree, but if Zion don't play, a lot of shit don't really matter, right?
No, nothing matters.
So people can say what they want, but I'm like, man, we don't want to hear that bullshit, Sharif. Like, we don't hear that bullshit, Sharif. We this dude need to play, because you need a player that can be the best player on the floor any given night. Zion is showing that he can do that. So I say that to say, if Zion is playing and they looking I think that minimizes Willie Green to the point where they like, all right, we survived the Willie Green season. Now let's go get the coach we really want. Like, I think, because like you've seen it happen before in the past where it's like, all right, you was a transitional coach. We got to where we need to be. Now it's time you to skedaddle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's over. Like, contract expired. No harm, no foul. Peace. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I think Joe, see, the Borrego move, just bringing him back, just feels suspicious. Like, it's almost like the DeJounte move. It feel like everything feel. The one thing I didn't like about Griff is Griff never had, to me, he never was aggressive enough, right? He was always like
on the line.
And he was like the team will start falling apart and he'll like be just aggressive enough to kind of make people be like, oh, all right, we trying when you're not really trying. You know what I mean?
Shit, right.
No, you really ain't doing shit. I think if Willie, honestly, I don't think it mattered what Willie looked like, to be honest. I think
Willie going no matter what.
I think he's going no matter what. And I think it happened this season. And the way I think it happens is part of, I just don't think he's good enough. And I think Joe trying to do him the solid of like, all right, I'll give you a shot. Like, for Willie to keep this job, he gonna have to start off like 8-2. You know what I'm saying?
And if you notice, Joe been a lot less committed to Willie Green. Like, he haven't been giving Willie Green no ringing endorsements. He just been like, well, he deserves a chance. Like, you know, he been saying like that. And honestly, man, damn, do I want to say this? I'll just say, I think, how can I say it? I don't think Borrego is that sought after. I think Borrego just keeps you from having to go hire a new motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He just keep you from like, I gotta go find a new lead assistant. Damn, it's this late in the game. Who can I get, you know? And I think this season Willie Green might be a little more open to working in conjunction with Joe Borrego, because Willie Green ain't just coaching for his job, he coaching for his next job too. He coaching for a position on somebody's bench. And you know, Borrego, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but like nobody
you done interviewed a lot, you ain't got no job.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. So I'm just, you know, I don't mean no disrespect by that, but you know, for a lateral gig, it's like, yeah, cool, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But nobody ain't looking at you for that head.
Ain't nobody really wanting you like that.
Yeah, nobody really want you like that. Like, come on. Like, so in comparison to Kenny Atkinson, JB Bickerstaff, Mike Brown, because these are the guys. Now the JJ Redick thing was a little like, I don't know, but it was still like nobody hiring you, son. Like, you might as well.
If you had to
waiting out Willie.
Had to choose, if you had to choose between Willie Green and Steve Nash, who would you choose?
Oh man, I think you know what? I might choose Steve Nash. This is why this is why I might choose Steve Nash though, because Steve Nash knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was just friends. True. So Steve Nash was probably open to input. Willie Green is stubborn, dog. Like Willie Green, people have no idea. No, he my dog. I'm supporting
Team Willie this year. Yeah,
I'm team Bill Green, but Willie Green don't hear nothing nobody got to say, though. But that's why one thing that Joe Dumas did, Griff did too, I guess, because Brandon gone. Joe Dumas like, all your friends getting up out of here, Willie. All your partners gotta go. And he got one partner left. No, he got 1.5. But once Jose gone, it's over. Like, you ain't got no more partners left, Willie.
Man,
people's
I ain't even think about that. Yeah, I ain't even think about that. Him just severing those relationships. I was thinking about it as you was talking about. He don't really, endorse Willie, but he was big chilling with Z at Summer League, and they got like 1 or 2 people between Willie and Borrego. They sitting over there to the side, and then when the photo come out, they got the photo of him looking, you know what I mean, sitting next to Willie like.
Go back, man. Ain't no way in the world they wasn't watching.
Fire that dude, bro.
Ain't no way in the world him and Troy Weaver was watching how their prized pick, and I mean Derek Queen, not Jeremiah Fierce, how their prized pick was being utilized on that floor, and they wasn't like,
yeah. Nah, I don't know if I said this before, but my partner made Mike made a very good point. With the summer league play and stuff like that, but he was saying, because we was talking about how the team lacks identity and stuff like that, right? Like they just look, bro. They look undisciplined. They look like, you know what I mean?
Like they just met.
Yeah, like, and most of these teams just met. Now, granted, they were one of the younger teams and stuff like that. I get it, but they look so. Go ahead.
Now, I'm about to say too, you hit the nail on the head, bro. Everybody just met. Now, the Lakers, they had a little tournament prior, but nobody really got a continuity advantage. In fact, the Pelicans had about 4 people that played together. Antonio Reeves, Eve Meesey, Lester, Keon Brooks. What was the other dude, man? It was one more dude. I can't think of his name.
Lester, Keon Brooks, Reeves.
That might be it. That might be it. But they all, you know what I'm saying? Their veterans all knew each other, more or less. You know what I'm saying?
It's still enough. It's enough. It's enough to not be 0-5.
Yeah, man. And the losing,
you got to include Meesey too, because they played with Meesey before.
Yeah, and Meesey. So I'm like, man, some of y'all was getting chumped out there.
Yeah,
like some of y'all was getting chumped. Like, and that's the thing that made it look like, oh wait, y'all soft.
Yeah,
like now
it took too long.
Yeah, some dudes stepped up to the plate. Fizz, you know what I'm saying, and you know how they kind of rallied around him a little bit because Fizz was chirping a bit. But that's just been. I said this before, man. Like I ain't seen nothing I haven't seen in the regular season from that team.
So here's my thought. Because Corey Brewer coached that team, right? And I kind of like. And again, shout out to Mike. Mike made this point before. Bruh, Corey Brewer in the summer, this dude ain't worrying about no plans or nothing like that. He ain't looking at no film. He out here playing the big 3. Like shout out to the big 3, but he out here trying to get his run in. Yeah. Like this dude ain't out here going over no strategies and whatnot. So my thought is, if Willie Green is the head of this thing, right? And pause, I guess that sounded a little wild.
Yeah, you good.
But like, we pros at this point. And if Willie Green is the head, right, and this thing is just traveling downhill, you see that's not even really coaching potential. in the line. So like, I think you almost have to keep Borrego, like just trying to emphasize the Borrego aspect of it. You got to wipe out the whole. You damn near got to wipe out the training staff, the like every assistant coach. Like I think when Willie is gone, you might have to. And I know y'all know people in the building. You know what I mean? And I know Corey Brewer's son play at Country Day. Shout out to them. You heard me? Go Country Day. But you get what I'm saying? Like I think Joe gonna wipe everybody. Everybody gotta go.
I think
nobody's showing potential.
I think that's something. Now I will say this, Joe. Now Corey Brewer ain't a coach. You know what I'm saying? He's not a coach. He's a developmental guy, right, at this stage. And he's still a professional player, still at this stage. But he hasn't had the best teacher in the building right now. You know, to your point, and this was my point, and this is why I'm pro Willie Green this year, without saying too much, right? If coaching didn't matter in the summer league, right? Because some people say shit didn't matter, right? If coach didn't matter in the summer league, then to me, coaching never matters. If these players are supposed to know everything, if they're supposed to figure it out, these rookies, 17, 18 years old, they don't need no direction. And it looks similar to the last few summer leagues.
Absolutely.
And it looks like how the regular season looks at times. People confused. You can't make a post-entry pass, turnovers, defense looking crazy. Similar issues, right? Similar issues from the same, head coach and beneath. Then if you say it don't matter, then it don't matter. So now it never matters to me. So now, shout out to Willie. Whatever happens, happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Without saying too much, because I'm like, look, that's why my show called No Picks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no picks. You know what I'm saying? If you do something good, I compliment you. You do something bad, I'm gonna keep it $1 with you. It's like, Corey Brewer isn't a coach. He's in training to be a coach. This was his first real taste.
No real criticism to Corey. You know what I mean? He probably ain't even know he was gonna get that opportunity.
It ain't even, because the thing is, Joe Borrego, what's homie name? James Borrego, and Collins, they was coaches too in summer league.
Yeah.
They ain't look incredible, like, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's more of an indictment on the game planning at the top versus what the assistants are doing. To me, it's more of an indictment on the strategy and the blueprint in the building versus those individual coaches. So, hey man, I gotta just give Willie Green a chance, dog. Since nothing matters.
Well, we're gonna we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there, though, because I don't want, because I end up going in like on these tangents and whatnot, bro.
I got it. I understand.
I get the wilder, bro. But man, I appreciate you, Chaz, dog, for
stepping through the show. You brother.
Motherfucking people's champ. You know what I mean? Always keeping it real, keeping it $1. You just shouted out the show. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to Chaz page, the Chedda Chaz with the no picks on YouTube. You heard me? Go ahead and show that man some love. Y'all know he on Pro Pels. You know what I mean? Where you at on X? You're at Chedda Chaz. You know what I mean?
Chedda Chaz with everything, man. Just Instagram, everything is just at Chedda Chaz. I got in early, and I was able to secure my name and put everything
stuff down.
That's
what's up. Well, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's been another episode of Pels in the Blender. Chedda Chaz, A. Davis. We out.
Peace.